It's August 20th, 2023, and I'm doing the two rear brake lines. Here's the one going to the right rear drum. It has a short run. See it? Goes there and ends right there. I'll show you the left one. The left one has been repaired before. Okay, here's the left one coming out of the brake the brake wheel cylinder there. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Zoom in on that. Okay, I'm going to hit those with some BB Blaster penetrant, and as you could see, somebody did a repair on this. Okay, they replaced this little section here. Interesting. They didn't want to touch the one going to the wheel cylinder for some reason. It's rusty too, but that one goes over the axle. Let me show you. Over the differential. Sorry for the shakiness. A lot of webs back here. Okay. So that brake line hooks onto the differential there with a clamp, and then goes over, and then there's a bolt with a clamp on the other side. But I'm not going to undo those bolts. I'm going to leave that section of brake line in there, and I'm going to support the new brake line with using coupling it to the old brake line. First, I'm going to just put twist wire wraps there, and then I'm going to get these couplers that hold one brake line to another brake line, and that'll be it for that, because I'm not going to be pulling those diff bolts out right now. Just trying to get some brakes on this so we could roll down the road. Okay. So that goes over to the junction on the other side, on the right side there. So I'm going to soak these connections with penetrant, and we'll get started. Okay, bye. Okay, once again, this is a 72 MGB with non-servo and dual circuit. So this is the kit number. If you're using the AutoMech kit, it's RP 1734 left-hand drive. This is a left-hand drive car. So if you have this car, this is the set that the kit you want to get. And I'm doing the right rear and left-hand rear. So right-hand rear is number 5, left-hand rear is number 6. And I put them on top here. Here's number 5 line. Obviously, if you're making your own lines, then this section does not apply to you. Just make your own lines and make them the same length as the old ones. Okay, so here's 5. 5 is the right. It's straight now, but it's going to be bent. And then 6 is obviously the longer one because it's got to go all the way to the left side. So there's 6. Okay? Okay, I'm starting on the right rear wheel cylinder. It's a short line. I already broke it, meaning I didn't break it, meaning I broke it, meaning this is a 7/16, and using my pipe wrenches here, flared nut wrenches, and just give it a good tap. Hold the line here because it wants to rotate. Hold the top of this and then tap this counterclockwise, and should have no problem. I hit it with the penetrant about an hour ago, so it's coming off pretty easy. And then the next one would be that one over there, the one in the junction over here. There it is. That's next. And it appears to be a strap in the way. I'm gonna have to slide that over a little bit, but it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, and the same for the other end of the right side line. at the junction. This one loosened pretty easily, and then I'm going to go on the other side of it and do the junction side of the left side line, which is right there. That'll be next. Since I'm already under the car on the right side of the car, you know, you can get to all these from here. Your hands can reach everything. I have the wheel off. Have the right wheel off here. I have both wheels off. Just makes it easy to get to these things. Okay, bye. Okay, everybody, the right rear one is off. It's seen better days. And if you look here, it looks like a mechanic squeezed this to see if it was okay. I mean, I don't know what else would have squeezed it. I don't know, it looks like brake fluid could still get through there. I don't think it's squeezed enough to stop the brake fluid, unless the wheel cylinder was leaking and someone just squeezed it, but I don't think so. That would have been an irrational way to go. So anyway, here's the replacement line. I'm just going to bend this new line here to match the old line. I have the left rear loosened at the junction. I didn't loosen it all the way, but it's loosened at the junction, but not at the wheel cylinder yet. So I use a little penetrant. Just helps it helps the things loosen easier. Okay, bye. Okay, there's my close approximation to bending. Not my best work, but we're gonna get it on the car and have a go at it, and I'll make the any fine tuning, any final changes on the car. You know, route it nice. Make sure it's where it should be on the car. This one seems to be a little bit longer than this one, but that's okay. Better longer than too short. All right, this one took some finagling. Threaded by hand. Went in nice and easy. Yeah, I'll trace it for you. Comes back, goes up. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. All right, comes out, goes up, goes behind the stabilizer link, and there it is, threaded nicely into the junction. I didn't tighten them yet. I mean, they're all screwed in like, you know, 5 turns by hand, something like that, maybe 4. So you can see it's not near any suspension. Obviously, everything moves together. So if you route this nicely, so it's not touching anything, when the suspension moves up and down, it's not going to touch anything because, you know, the brake line's moving with the axle, is moving with the wheel here, wheel cylinder, so everything goes up and down together. So I'm going to tighten these and do the left side. Okay, I just wanted to show you that the left fitting is off of the junction. There it is. I just unscrewed it from the right side of the car. This is the one that goes over the axle to the left side of the car. So now I'm going to go set up on the left side of the car and take care of that. Unscrew the fitting that goes into the wheel cylinder on the left side of the car. The right line is in nicely. I tightened them. There you go. There's not going to be any leaks. They went in nice by hand. And I'm going to do the other side. And what I'm going to do is leave a piece of the old brake line and then sister the new one onto it. Sister is a term that just means just going to parallel the new line to a piece of the old line that's secure, so I don't have to mess with those axle fasteners right now that go over the differential there. Just going to use some couplings to support the brake line, which I don't have them, I have to buy them. But they're just dual 3/16 inch holders that you just pop the brake lines in and they hold the brake lines. Okay, onto the left side wheel cylinder now. Alright, here we are on the right side of the car. I'm sorry, here we are on the left side of the car. And there's the fitting. Let me put the torch on here. I have the wrench on it, ready to go. Try to get a better view, and I'm just gonna tap the wrench upwards. Yeah, now you could see the whole action. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And that's how I loosen these. Okay. You get it on there again. Okay. Loosen it. Okay. You don't need to watch me loosen this, but I just want to show you a little bit how I start it. Okay, bye. Alright. That one's off. Goes in there. So the right rear is off on both sides. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and this is just for my car, I'm going to either cut that line up there. Let me see if I can point to it. I'm going to end this line here. I'm going to cut this here because I'm going to tie wrap the new line to this section that is it's kind of supported by the axle. It's not really supported too well, but it is in the clamp. So that's what I'm going to connect, secure the new line to. Part that goes over the axle hump over there. Okay, bye. Okay, everything's done. My phone battery went dead, but I'm going to show you what I did and how I did it. So, by the way, this is like one of these yoga mats, and you know, they come rolled up, and they come with a carrying strap too. So you roll it up and roll it up like a sleeping bag. And I just move this, around the car, lay on it. It's better than laying on the ground. So walk this way, going over to the left rear here. I'll show you how I do the brake lines. This is how I do them. You do them however you want, but this way works. Proof is in the pudding. All right, so what I did was I did a few bends on this from the right side, just like the end ones here. Okay, I did a few bends. Okay, I just shoved the line over the axle hump there. Kind of just shoved it over. Let me get you a better angle. I left the tie wraps long. I use zip ties. And I'll tell you why I use the zip ties. So you could see it goes over the axle hump. Let me just get this steady here. So what I did was I left the old line in because it's clamped to the axle clamp. Actually, one side wasn't clamped, but one side was. And right now I have tie wraps here. I'm going to replace those with better fasteners. Brake line fasteners or metal things, metal clamps. But what I did was first So I got this basic bend in over here. Sorry, the camera shut on me. So what I did was I first screwed this in. And I don't know if you could see, but it is at a slight angle. It's not perfectly perpendicular to the ground. Kind of angles downward into the wheel cylinder. I'm assuming the other side might have been like that too, but I didn't notice. So anyway, I screwed this in, okay? Tightened it up. Take your time, thread it by hand. Screwed that in. Then I put a support tie wrap here. This one, holding the brake line. So then I made the bends around the differential with my hands, okay? But this is holding the brake line so it doesn't stress this part here when I'm bending the brake line. So this, think of it as like a support. Then here's the old brake line. Here I cut it, but I left it there for now, and I put another tie wrap or zip tie, whatever you call them, here so then I get to the other side of the car and make my nice bends. See, this happily goes around. Another tie wrap there, you could see that one. That tie wrap's there. Then I'm gonna have to go to the other side of the car to show you what's going on. So these are all tie. So basically the whole left side of the car is secure and tie wrapped. So when I make the bends on the right side, these aren't moving, okay? This side of the car, the brake line, is not moving. So, because I have it held by the tie wraps. And I'm actually holding it onto the old brake line and kind of following the route of the old brake line. So let's go. So here's the route from the left side. Basically does a gradual right angle towards the rear and up. Then it kind of bends around the axle, goes towards the inside of the car, the middle of the car. Kind of follows the axle, then goes over the hump and to the other side of the car. So let's go to the other side now. Sorry, I must have shut the camera off by accident a few times. Okay, so here we go. We're going way above the differential there. Let me zoom in. See, that's the far line, the one with the kind of got like a reflection of the sun on it. That goes over the differential. Then I have the cut old brake line here. You can see the end of it is cut. But I put another tie here just to support the lines while I make this bend here and tighten this section here. So this bend was nice and you know, threaded perfectly, right angles, perpendicular, coming right into that junction there. And that's the final resting place of these lines. Take a photo here. Take a couple of photos. Oh, back's hurting. Okay, so there you go. The car has all new brake lines. All right. I already showed you the right side one. That one's going in there somewhere to the wheel cylinder. Okay, so all done. So the next thing is to, I'm not going to show you the bleeding. I do have a bleeding video on MGBs if you want to check that out. It's one of my long and lazy days. I think I did a right rear, right front, left front to bleed these brakes, and I did a gravity bleed last time and it worked well. So I'm simply going to redo that procedure the same way. And incidentally, sorry, this is at the end of the video. This car is supported by 2 heavy-duty jack stands, and I have the jack still under the differential. I should have showed this at the beginning of the video. Maybe I can put this at the beginning of the video. Maybe I'll take a photo, but there you go. Watch your emergency cable, even though mine's not working. But you know, so I leave the jack under the differential, a little pressure on the jack, but most of the weight is on 2 heavy-duty jack stands. These are rated at 3 tons, but you know, because we have some big SUVs here, you certainly don't need this much capability in the jack stand, but you know, they work well. And I have these metal things here. Otherwise, when it gets hot, the jack stands will sink into the asphalt. So that's why these are 2 metal cabinet doors, actually. This was my son's idea, to put under the jack stands, because otherwise these things will go into the ground, especially when it's hot out. All right. Oh, there's my fuel sender. That's about it. I'm going to wrap this up now, gentlemen and ladies. I usually say ladies and germs. I forgot to. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Please take care of your brakes. Take care of the brakes. Anyone can make a car go, but before you make a car go, you got to make sure it's able to stop. All right. Bye. Have a great day. Okay, here's how I have the vehicle supported in the back. The jack is under the differential. Then I have 2 jack stands under the tubes of the axle. Watch your emergency cable on the right side of the car. You don't want to damage it. Oh, just one more thing. I had a tie wrap around the line and around the left side of the axle. Definitely can't leave that, because then you're going to have the metal brake line rubbing. You don't want that. You don't want metal to metal rubbing. That will destroy your brake line. So I took the zip tie off. This line was against here, just so I could bend up the line. I was going to leave it, but thinking it could do no harm, but it can do harm. You don't want metal against metal. So what I did was I cut off the tie wraps and I just bent the line. So now it's supported. You know, it goes into the wheel cylinder there, runs across, and then it's secured by the older brake line, which is secured to the differential. I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh, come on, why'd you do it that way? But, you know, I just want some rear brakes right now. I'll be clamping it much better to the old brake line, using some other type of clamps besides the tie wraps. But this is a solid line. It's sturdy. Like I said, it's going to go up and down with the axle. So I just wanted to show you that I didn't leave the tie wrap on here with the brake line, because that would mean metal against metal rubbing, possibly, even though these go up and down together. I didn't want to take the chance and have to do this job over again. Okay, see you later. Pumping the brakes to bleed the master. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. That should be good. Gotta bleed the brake shed still. Alright everyone, I'm getting bold in my middle age. Look, starting the bleed process. Now last time I did right rear, right front, left front. I don't know why they don't say left rear, because left rear is the longest run. But anyway, I started the right rear, then I got bold. Let me show you. then I was like, you know, it's almost dinner time, so let me do 2 bleeds at once in the back. So then I started the left rear. So that one's going too, ever so slowly. Just barely got started. And you have to always go up here. I've been checking the master. Got to remember, I put all new lines running to the back, so the lines themselves have to get filled. Now that's getting empty. I better hurry. I got to put the camera down. Bye. Okay, I just refilled that, but you got to be on your toes if you're doing this alone to make sure it doesn't go past that rear hole there. If it gets below that, then you're letting air in the system. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the master. It's taking a little while because I do have the back of the car jacked up a little bit. Let me show you the right side. I'm going to shut the right bleeder because it's about done. And then that'll force more to go into the left wheel cylinder. So you can see, this is the right side, and it's been very active since I, you know, bled it. But it's a short run, and the other one goes over the axle, so it goes up in the air. So that's why it's taking its time. But once I shut this one, the left one will kick in. So I'm going to shut this bleeder, and then the left one will kick in. Now don't take the hose out of the fluid. Just turn the bleeder with your fingers, tighten it, and then tighten it with a tool. Don't over tighten it, but snug it. Okay, I'm ready to shut down the left rear. You could see it's accumulating in the cup there. I'll let it go for 5 more minutes. See, what I do is I tighten the bleeder with the hose attached. Then I take the hose off the bleeder. Then I just snug it with this little ratchet. Of course, I'm not using my pipe wrenches. I don't have a 6mm one for these small bleeders up here, so. And you can't have the back of the car jacked up too much, otherwise this bleeding is going to take forever. So, as you can see, it's working well. I'm almost to the point where I was on the right side of the car. And remember, this is the line that goes over the hump. This goes over the rear differential, so let gravity do its thing. Okay, I just started the fronts. I had to spread apart the rubber line a little bit because the bleeders in the front are a lot bigger. So I had to open up the end of my plastic hose, my clear hose here. Okay. Now you see this big area with this big air bubble in the hose? It's draining, believe me. It looks like nothing's moving, but it's draining because there is fluid going through there. You could see the beginning where it's dirty. I had some clean fluid in this cup. You can see the beginning where it's dirty. That's the beginning of the bleed. So it is bleeding. Watch your master. Now you're going to be on the front reservoir. Make sure that doesn't go low while you're bleeding. The front ones bleed faster because they're shorter runs. To bleed the right side, I turn the wheel all the way to the left. I do have it on the jack. I don't have jack stands under it now, but I'm not putting my head under the car. It's very easy to access this bleeder. It's right there on top. And that's a 3/8. I believe it's a 3/8. Sorry, not a 3/8. It's a 7/16. I got the tool on it, so once it's done bleeding, I'm going to close the bleeder screw and then detach the hose. Now I'm going to go check the master, make sure it's not getting too low. Okay, last one being bled is the left front, closest to the master. Now sometimes you can't use these type of tools because sometimes when you're trying to loosen the bleeder, a piece of the caliper gets in the way. So I loosened this with a where is it? The front ones I used an 11 millimeter because I couldn't get my 7/16 wrench on it for some reason. Maybe it's not a 7/16. I don't remember. But anyway, that's bleeding, and it's bleeding rather quickly, so I'm going to check the master now. And that'll be it. Just close the bleeder, put the jack down. It's holding up the front a little bit, just so it's easy for me to rotate the tires, turn the wheel, you know, and move the tires. Once again, I'm not under the car. The bleeder is right there. Don't put your head under the car, you know, when it's just on the jack. Okay, so I got to check the master because this is the shortest run, so it does go pretty quickly, the left front one. Okay, bye. Okay, so after the gravity bleed, I just topped off the master again, and I got a hard pedal. I pumped it 3 times, but it was already hard. I didn't have to. You shouldn't have to pump it a million times. Try to get it. I'm standing outside the car. I'm sorry. It's tight. It's tight. Goes down a little bit, and then bam, resistance. Got these stupid wires in the way. Okay, there. See? That's what you want. Okay, sorry about that horrible video with the wires in the way, but I just wanted to show you the pedal. Okay, I still have the car raised a little bit because I'm going to be doing something else on the car today. But I still have the car raised a little bit, but do your final top off on the master once the car is all the way down and level. I could fit a little more in here once the car is level. Top it off, and don't spill it all over the place, but top it off when it's level. I'm just going to put the cover on loosely for now, because when I put that down, I'm going to top it off. And if you wake up in the morning and one of these reservoirs, the front or the back, is low, that means you have a leak somewhere. And don't panic. Just set aside some time. You either have something you didn't tighten, or something you might have stripped the threads on and thought it was tight, but it's not, because you're not forming that flare. Those flares are there for a reason. So sometimes you have a fitting that you think is tight, but you just cross-threaded it, and you're not even pushing the flare against its mating, the other side that it mates with, and has to have a very tight connection, not let any high-pressure brake fluid past it. So just, don't panic. It's a simple car. It's very easy to work on. You might have to change a junction. You might have to change something that you did when you changed the brake lines. You could have even damaged the brake line, although these are pretty tough. But you could damage one. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope this was helpful.